Have you ever wondered why you keep breaking your rules even though you know better? It might not be the market, it might be your childhood. Trading is more than just the charts that we look at, it's more than just the clicking of buttons, and it's more than the size of your contract that you have or the lot size that you have. It's about our emotions and our behaviors. I've been learning a lot of myself over the last year, 2 years, and becoming more self aware. And that's what catapulted my trading to the next level. Unfortunately, within the last 30 to 60 days, I've gone on a spiral, losing, really just going on tilt more often than not. And I wanted to create this video that correlates with a little bit of what I'm going through personally, which is some of my childhood trauma coming back to my life at the age of 34 and having to face those feelings because they're a reflection of trading. And I've said this before, trading is everything and everything is trading. Everything's kind of symbiotic with when it comes to trading. Whatever's happening outside of trading will 100% affect your trading journey. And how your trading journey is affects your life, right? Outside of trading. And somehow you have to have these two worlds coexist and live together and respect each one. Well, growing up, I had a lot of trauma. I was physically abused. I was sexually molested. I grew up in a home threatening divorce and parents yelling and physically abusing each other. And so I always felt like something bad was going to happen. I felt like I was a bad child. I felt like I was wrong and I always do wrong. And I always wanted to prove to my family that I am a good son, that I'm a good boy. And I say these things because it's going to correlate to the trading world. And these traumas that I grew up with, which, the majority of my life, to be honest, I didn't know I was a traumatized child. I've avoided a lot of my pain through eating. As you can tell, I'm overweight. I got up to 420 pounds. I avoided it by working really hard and making a lot of money as much as possible. And I avoided it by going on trips, and buying a Supra and doing all these things. And more recently, in the last year or two, life brought me to my knees and I had to face the reality of my past. And more recently, I've been thinking, actually, these memories have been being brought to me, and I believe in God. And, God has been helping me process my emotions of the things I've went through. Long story short, knowing how I was feeling growing up, in the pain and the anguish and the frustration, and the multiple times I tried committing suicide and, really facing those feelings has brought me to an awareness of trading, right? What does it feel like while I trade? And now let me address how me being aware of the trauma that I went through has excelled my day trading. Because when you're trading, whether you're trading $1 at risk or $1 million at risk, your emotions are involved. And in a world where you're not aware of how you feel, your success rate in trading is going to be cut, in half, and it's going to be extremely hard for you to be profitable because I was that reflection, right? I was making trades in 2020, not knowing how I was feeling, and blowing up thousands of dollars because I was trying to prove something. Little did I know I was trading to prove to you watching the video. I was trading to prove to my parents and my family that I'm worth something. And I was trying to prove to myself that I'm worth something. And you can't trade with those beliefs. And I'm preaching to the choir. I'm still learning about these beliefs inside of me. And, realizing when I have a bad trade, when I have a losing trade. It's a setup and it's exactly what I go for, but it's a losing trade. I don't want to be wrong. Like, and it's not like out of this pride issue. It's more of how I grew up, that I was always wrong. And even though I never did anything wrong, well, I did things wrong as a child, but in the grand scheme of things, I was treated as if I was a bad child. So whenever I do something wrong, I tend to get emotional. Tend to start to spiral inside, right? And that reflects in trading. I mean, how many of you guys have overtraded? Like, I have too. But the overtrading and the chasing of trying to make up for a loser, where does that stem for me? Where does it stem from for me? Is self-worth. Like, I'm trying to find my self-worth through being profitable for the day, right? And I can't handle being negative because it's a reflection of how good I am as a person and as a human being. I know it sounds, crazy, but that's exactly how it feels. And I'm still like learning a lot of this as a person. A few months ago, I was profitable, was taking payouts, but I kind of lost track here, and I've been reflecting a little bit more, and I realize that I'm learning. I'm learning myself, and I'll be profitable in some weeks, but then I'll end up spiraling because of this self-worth issue. And if you're listening to this and you've made it this far, self-worth, is something that I'm learning. I'm learning how to care for myself. Getting to 420 pounds shows that I didn't care about myself. I was too afraid to do drugs, and I was too afraid to drink alcohol because my dad was an alcoholic. So I turned to food, right? And food was my vice to stuff my feelings down into my stomach, and I grew to 420 pounds, and I'm still trying to lose weight. But I say all that because the food is a mirror of my trading too, right? I wish it was something. I wish there was another way around it, but there's not, right? And it comes down to being self-aware. There's discipline to it. I think I just heard that in my head. There's a sense of being disciplined when trading. Yes, 100%. But behind not being disciplined, there's a source. There's a reason to it, and it's the same thing with me and my weight. I've fluctuated in weight. I've lost weight. I've gained weight. I've lost weight. And I've had coaches, and I've taken meal programs, and I end up losing weight, but then gaining some of it back. And what I'm learning is it comes down to my self-belief, and it comes down to my belief in myself of achieving losing weight, achieving those things when deep inside I feel like I can't, right? And it's like, why are we talking about this? What does this have to do with trading? Everything. Like, me thinking that I can't lose weight and that I'm always going to fail at losing weight is going to be the same outcome when it comes to trading. And I'm in this battle currently. Like, I'm right now as we speak, I'm currently fighting this battle of loving myself. And with God, I'm processing, and he's helping me, and I'm understanding to love myself, and in hopes that trading becomes more profitable for me. But, I wanted to share some of my insight of what I'm learning about trading that has nothing to, or that's outside of trading, I should say. And it's not your usual video of someone talking about how childhood trauma kind of connects to day trading. But I figured it'd be interesting just to bring it up and talk about it. And I will probably not be trading live like I used to, because I found myself like trying to perform in front of people, and that got me into a spiral. So I'm just figuring things out here and really trying to get myself back into a place of rhythm when it comes to trading. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button, leave a comment below, join the Discord, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.